Hey everyone, welcome back to day 4 of Advent of Witchcraft. Uh, it's getting late on a Saturday because I've been basically tinkering with this stuff all day, and so that's how I ended up with this structure. Um, but this was kind of meant as a sandbox location where I'm just sort of trying stuff out. Now I'm going to use the functions that I created to try to actually create the actual house that we want. Um, Also, yeah, for the intro, um, just use this. Come on, you can do it. Uh, this marquee function, which uses send title combined with the markup stuff. Um, Not really want to focus on, but the fun stuff. But so here, let me jump back to our mountain spot. All right, this is where we were in the last couple episodes. We created this Decorator 9000 yesterday and gave all these trees a lot of cute little lanterns. Um, Now we are going to put a building here. And so I have a bunch of helper functions here um, to build the roof and, build the triangle inside the roof and build the rest of the house. And most of these, except for this last bit where I'm using the shapes API, most of these I'm using the cursor API. So I just kind of want to walk you through that a little bit. So with cursor, if you've ever used Logo or these kind of turtle languages where you have, a metaphorical turtle which you make move around, and as it walks, it draws a line. Basically, same idea. So you say cursor start. So this is the Land Island Witchcraft cursor namespace. You say cursor start. You give it a starting position and a starting direction. And so what you get back is really just a map. It contains XYZ, so the current location of the cursor, and then a bunch of other bookkeeping stuff. You don't need all of it all the time. It has the current direction that it's going in, and so forth. But so most of the stuff, you can look at this map and it's totally fine to like deal with it directly if you want to associate stuff into it for your own algorithms, or just update stuff of it in it directly. But most of it has helper functions. So if you want to change the material that you're drawing with, you can do that. You can say I want birch planks, for instance. But let's first look at the basics. So you start with the cursor and then you just say I do some steps. I do just a single step, and then I say cursor build. And so this is new, both cursor build and the witchcraft set blocks function that I've used a lot earlier. They now take this start location, and we now have a target block function which uses line of sight algorithm to find the block that the player is looking at. So I should be able to put a block right here. And so the default block that the cursor uses is this magenta glazed terracotta. And that's actually super useful because it has this arrow on it, so you can kind of see what's happening. So say for instance that, I do 10 steps, well maybe not 10, let's say I do 5 steps, and then I rotate my cursor, and it's 1/8 of a rotation. So you can actually, if you rotate just one, it's gonna like start going along the diagonals. So I rotate 2 to sort of make a 90-degree or a right angle turn. Say I do another 5 steps, and then maybe I rotate back -2, sure, and do another 2 steps. Right, so step. And there you go. so that's how cursor works. What else do I use here? You can change the material. I showed that. You can rotate. Move just moves it without drawing. You can also explicitly turn the drawing off and then turn it back on again. But move just sort of, picks up your pen, puts it somewhere else. And then that's most of the main ones I use here. Then there's some of these higher order functions. I use reps here and I use excursion. What excursion does is you give it a function. It's going to apply that function to the cursor to set your blocks. But then at the end of it, it moves the cursor back to the position where you started from. So to illustrate that, for some reason my Emacs is getting real slow. I wonder if I need to restart some stuff. But so yeah, let me undo this. So say, which direction am I pointing at? Actually, I'm looking west, so maybe we should also have our cursor go west. So for instance, yeah, so also what I want to maybe show is that, all of this is strictly functional. If you put steps, all that happens is that blocks get added, or maps really, description of blocks get added to this blocks set in your cursor. And so if you want to, you can pull that out and do stuff with it yourself. But so now, because I made 5 steps, we are now at y0, z0, x minus 4. Whereas if I would say cursor excursion, steps 5, and so this extra argument just gets passed to steps, just like most higher order functions work in Clojure. Now I'm back at 0, and so you'll see that here and there that will come in really handy. Yeah, so we want to draw these chalets, we want to draw these roofs. And so the first part are the individual segments that make up the roof. So let's actually look at one of these. Right, say I have a roof segment of length 3, and then I build it. That looks like this. So it's two rows of blocks. The 3 in this case means that I have, for some reason, 4. Oh no, I said 4. Okay, yeah. So I have 4. So the idea is that it's kind of this slate roof with a wooden framing. That's kind of the idea. So these are top slabs, these are bottom slabs, these are birch stairs, birch planks. And so by putting these next to each other, we can kind of build up a full roof. And so that's what you sort of see with this half roof. Here I use reps, which basically just means apply this roof segment function sections times. So this is sort of the end. This is how many times you want to repeat it. This is the function that gets applied, and then this is again the extra argument to the function. And the thing is actually, yeah, if I go back here, roof segment, and then maybe cursor material, change that back to magenta glazed terracotta, and do one more step, then you can kind of see, or should be able to see, or not. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah, it was. Okay, yeah. So we go down basically, like after each roof segment. Let me maybe start them a little bit higher up so you see what's going on. So you see, we draw these two lines, and then we go one to the side and one down, and then our cursor is here, and we can basically draw the next segment. Go down again, draw the next segment. And so that's what we then do with reps. We basically just say, draw this many segments, and then we put some more birch slabs on the end of it. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, come on. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna... Is it better now? Reconnect my REPL. Still kind of slow. So when I say this is a half roof with a length of 4 and 3 sections. Oops, undo the other one first. Half roof. Yeah, I guess I was pointing at a faraway block. Let's put it here. Right, so here you see how these kind of start combining to form a full roof, and then we have the extra birch lining. And so we're gonna then, when we actually draw our roof, we're gonna draw one half, move our cursor to, so basically say that, you know, we start, our first cursor starts in this block. Then basically once this thing is drawn, and we draw that as an excursion, so now we're back at this block. Now we move the cursor to this block and turn it 180 degrees and do the same thing again. And so now we get it on the other side. We also have this roof triangle is basically just some dark oak filling for sort of the inside here. You'll see what that looks like. So let me show you that. So I'm just gonna put a roof. It's still the same options. Yeah, let me point at something right here. All right, so now we actually have sort of the full roof is kind of what we're going for, with the slate tiles, the wooden framing, and then sort of on the inside here, try to give it a little bit of depth, a little bit of texture, the dark oak. So, and then finally, we're just going to combine that. So here we start our cursor and then put our roof down, accommodating for this 2-block wide framing is really just why we're doing this. And then we're using the Shapes API. So in Shapes, you have a bunch of different functions for drawing box, ball, line, tube, torus, and then this rectube or rectangular tube, which is really just like sort of a hollow box without a top or a bottom, or you can put it on its side. Sort of pretty useful shape, especially for things like buildings. And so let's put an anchor block here somewhere. So what's this? All right. So let's say this is where we start. And which way are we pointing? Towards west. So let's maybe try that. If we start here and we build towards the west, what happens? All right, and so we get, oh yeah, we're on the, oh, and this, ooh, this is not what was supposed to happen. To be honest, I only tried east and south, I guess. I'm not sure if I messed something up. Just gonna try. So yeah, I mean, making these things like really general purpose can be a little bit tricky, but it does pay off. Okay, so this is kind of what it's supposed to come out as. Okay, this is, you know, this is very basic. I know, like, in terms of Minecraft standards, this is nothing to get too excited about. But what we're gonna do is try to combine a couple of these to sort of get a more interesting building shape, and then, you know, do some more, to some extent, just manual, right? So we can just, you know, grab an axe and say, like, I want a door here, and I want some windows. But then we can also start writing some other code that actually inspects the structure in the world, which is to some extent easier, like to actually texturize this, add some details. I think it makes more sense sometimes to just, you know, use the fill algorithms, for instance, to find all these blocks and then kind of, you know, make a selection of them, do stuff with them, and so forth. Now, is this a good spot for the first one? So I'm not convinced. Let's see. Let's, okay, how about if we go south from there? So then it's in the other direction. And then I'm gonna push that a little bit, I guess, to this side. So towards negative, what does it say? Towards negative z. Yeah, so let's say we make this 60. No, a bit more. How many blocks is that? Maybe another 8. Ooh, that's okay. No, maybe I didn't evaluate the 60 properly. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Okay. Okay, but actually, since that one is there, maybe it does make more sense to go in the other direction for that one. Right, and then make it a little longer. Maybe 8. No, then it's gonna, yeah, then it's gonna go that way. So then we want to go a little bit, I guess, towards negative x, maybe. Yeah. Okay, what does that look like? Okay, it's a little much. Let's go a little less. Okay, yeah, so that's, let's make that a little shorter or longer. If we take it longer, it takes the whole thing, and then we can put one on this side. Let's try that. So yeah, let's go back, let's say another 3 blocks and make this a little, like another 2 blocks longer, maybe. Oh, did not evaluate that, I think. Yeah, there you go. Right, so if we start with that, and then sort of put another one over here. So yeah, maybe as sort of the central point, kind of start from here. Sure, with this target block stuff, so target block, yeah, and here you also see that, like, Witchcraft really tries to just do what you ask it without complaining. So, you know, you can give it a map, you can give it a vector, it's fine. It'll do its best to make you happy. So that's the first one. Actually, yeah, let's maybe put this in a thread. No, don't like that. Space u thread first. No, that's not what I meant. Okay, I guess I'll just do it manually. What I mean is there. I think that looks nice, and then we can create the second one where we use anchor 2. This time we're gonna go south. Actually, yeah, which way am I looking here? I'm looking north, so actually I want to start, I guess, maybe like here. Okay, so now, where's the opening? How come I get all this light here? That's interesting. Okay, let's punch a door in here and see what happened. Okay, that is already not terrible. And now, sort of as a finishing touch, actually I might make this longer still. It's gonna end up sort of pushing into the mountain, but that's and maybe we want to play around, like make these not the same height. Maybe make this one higher, or maybe the other one lower. Alright, so if you make this one a little longer. Wait, I made it too lower. That's a little low. Alright. So that's something, and I no longer have flying capabilities. And I mean, we'll be touching up some of the places where these touch, and cutting out the inner walls and stuff like that. But this is just sort of the raw shape. But then I actually want to do one more thing. So yeah, I'm kind of puzzled. What's all this now? Yeah, I should probably adjust our fly speed. We set that really high in one of the previous episodes. What is it now? 0.5. Yeah, let's set it to 0.1. I think is the default. Why does light come in here? I'm not sure I understand. But no big deal. Basically, I just want to pick a block somewhere here. All right, let's say this one. Yeah, I added this XYZ round as a variant of XYZ, especially just to make it nicer to like insert these coordinates in your code. Because when you're dealing with blocks, you really just care about the rounded values. Let me keep that around for later reference. And then, you don't have these like long and ugly floats in your code. Okay, so now I want to draw a third section. Let's maybe go to height 5, go back east. Yeah, I guess we'll stick actually. Yeah, maybe try not too wide, and not that deep. just needs to be deep enough to cover. How big is this thing? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So with the walls included, I guess it's 9 maybe. Okay, so maybe make it 10. I guess it can stick out a tiny bit. Okay, so what happens if you do this? Yeah, this is now not so convenient, but if we look on the outside, oh, okay, that actually sticks out way more than I anticipated. Let's try that again. Did I miscount as much, or does it not start? No, it starts over there. Okay, so let's undo that and maybe go for 7 for starters. Oh, now it only comes up to there. Yeah, it looks a little weird. I think we need to go one higher at least. Maybe a little more like that. Yeah, so that's kind of the effect I wanted to go for, where sort of these roofs start combining. It's not perfect, but I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Especially, yeah, so here kind of it's one shorter that sort of makes sense. Maybe it should be like that here too. Maybe if we do go back for 7. And maybe move it one more towards positive Z. So that means like this, right? I think so. Yeah, I think we can work with that. I think that's gonna be it. This is gonna be the starting point for our mountain lodge, our, you know, whatever you want to call it. I'm so gonna chop out some of this stuff here. Maybe, what are we gonna put here for light? Maybe some more lanterns for starters, even though I don't think they give that much light, but let's see. If I just, can I just randomly pop some? Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, that works. There you go. That's already pretty cool. Open this up. And then, yeah, here we have some remnants of the roof structures that are sort of popping in the inside. That's fine. We'll just, oh, we're not, okay, we're not in the other structure yet. Well, this can turn into a window. That's fine. So we actually want to take this one out as well. Right, so that's the back there. Let's maybe fill these back up. Yeah, so I think this is, you know, like, it's work in progress, but this is a nice structure to start with. And yeah, that already took us a little bit of time again, so I guess that's good enough for today. If I can just hang a lantern here, I would be very happy. But for some reason, it doesn't like it. Okay. Not here? No, not there. Oh, because this, maybe because that's a top slab? Maybe that's the problem. Let's do the same there. Well, yeah, one offset, that's cool. All right, so I hope you like that. As promised, we're finally getting to some building. You know, it's still a little rough around the edges. Oh, that is just wrong. But I hope you see the potential in the place. And with a little look, I'll be back tomorrow. So stay posted. Bye.